It is the third Tuesday of the month, so that means book reviews. I have kind of dropped the ball this month, and I'll tell you why. I read books in two different ways. The traditional way that you read a book, and by listening to titles on Audible, which is a service through Amazon where you buy a membership and you get 1, 2, 3, any number of books that you can download to your phone and listen to. I really love using Audible because sometimes I'm driving long distances, or a particular day at work where I am not, thinking really analytically. I can listen to a book. It takes a lot of time often, but there's also a very interesting quality to listening to someone's story, especially if someone narrates their own book. Like John Green did a version of his book, The Fault in Our Stars, that he narrated. It's not on Audible, but he did do it. Mindy Kaling narrated her own book. Neil Gaiman just narrated his book, The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Only the author really knows how they want their book to sound, so I think it's very interesting listening to an author read their own book out loud. The book that I listened to this month, that wasn't the case, but it is a spectacular book nonetheless. I listened this month to a book called The Rules of Civility by Amor Towles, or Amor Towles. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, sorry. The book is about a number of different young people in their 20s living in New York City in the early 1930s and late 1930s. So these people are trying to forge their way in the midst of a very serious financial crisis. This is right after the crash, and it's a juxtaposition of people who are stupid wealthy and people who are really trying to make ends meet and living a comfortable but rather meager lifestyle while they watch other people, lap up the luxurious fantasies of the 30s. It tackles a lot of real things that we still deal with as 20-somethings trying to find our way in today's modern world. Back in the 30s, relationships and career paths and money problems and figuring out what you are passionate about, who you're passionate about, where you want to be, how to deal with the emotions that inevitably come with so many major decisions at this point in so many young 20-something lives. It's almost eerie how similar, and this is a fictional novel, but it is the way that this book is written, it feels as though you are looking into the real past, which I'm sure we really are. I don't think that human emotions have really changed much. We've just gained more distractions today. We still feel the same emotions, we just express them differently and have so many more ways to express them than there were back in that time. I really highly recommend this book to especially people who are in their early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, who kind of want another story to relate to, where, if you haven't figured it out, you're not the only one. And as long as you're trying, as long as you are giving everything a shot and keeping at it, that's all you can do. That's all I can do. That's all I'm doing. That's the way of the world. So on a lighter note, the other book that I read, the one that I read for real, is Aisha Tyler's Self-Inflicted Wounds. Now on my International Geek Girl Pen Pals Club blog, last month I said I would either read this book or a travel book called There's No Toilet Paper on the Road Less Traveled. And someone said, oh, I heard that Aisha Tyler book was good, so I thought, okay, great, I will read that one. And I've also only made it about halfway through. I had lots going on this month. I just didn't figure out the time to read everything that I needed to. So, whoops, sorry. I made it enough of the way through each of them that I think my opinion isn't going to change by the end. Unless I really hate the ending of The Rules of Civility, in which case I will probably tell you that at a later time. So, Self-Inflicted Wounds is obviously a comedy. It is really her retelling of certain events in her life where she's just royally screwed things up. I was a little afraid at the beginning that she was going to use just very gratuitous cursing throughout the book, which, believe me, I have been known to drop an F-bomb or 7. But I don't really like the use of it when it's just not necessary. So I was a little concerned at first that it was just gonna run rampant throughout the book, but she uses it to fuel her humor, and I love that. She has exceptional timing. She has really great timing as a comedian, and she has really great timing in this book. She's relatable without being braggadocious about the things that have happened to her. Because even though she's telling stories like, I set my damn house on fire, or I fell off of this thing, or I screwed this thing up, she brings a humanity to it that I think some comedians get a little high on their horses, like, oh, I'm so funny that I have to tell these grand stories. She just kind of tells things like they happened, and they happen to be damn hilarious. So I really recommend Aisha Tyler's book as well. It's not that long, which makes it even worse that I haven't finished it yet, but the chapters are short. She uses a lot of footnotes, which I have to say, I stopped reading them. So I hope there's nothing too important in the footnotes. If there are, let me know. So in order to keep myself on track, I'm gonna pick 2 books out of my little jars here. So the To Be Read is a physical book that I own or that I bought already that's kind of sitting in my house, been waiting to read. So we're gonna pick one out of here. Ah, yes. Silver Linings Playbook. I saw the movie, I absolutely am obsessed with it, so I wanted to read the book so bad. I'm really happy I get to read the book. And to listen to, I Am Not Myself These Days, which is a book that Tyler Oakley talked about, and he spoke so highly of it, so I wanted to audible it myself. So yay, I will listen to it, and then I can go see what he thought of it. I hope this was semi-constructive. Until next time, love yourself, love your pals, and hold on to your butts. See ya! The Rules of Civility by